Now, this is a very, very trick question. You'll say, hey, why are they asking? I'm applying for this job, so this might be. No, this is a trick question. I'm going to spend some time in trying to tell you what is the good answer for this and so on. What are some of the HR questions which you should not be bluffing, which you should answer with a lot of professionalism, with a lot of practice, with a lot of deliberation? So what are some of the HR questions which you can expect? And just want to give you a caveat. This is not an exhaustive list. You can never make a 100 questions list and say these are the only questions which will come. Generally, the theme of the HR or what the HR is trying to understand from you it revolves around some of these questions. As I said, these are indicative ones. All right. So one of the first question when you enter most interviews is, tell me about yourself. So we're going to spend, in fact, 5-7 minutes about tell me about yourself. We'll come to it. But this is one of the first questions. Say, hey, hi, Vasu. Welcome to the interview round. So tell me about yourself. Now, this, according to a lot of people, they'll say a lot of things, but we'll take a few examples and tell you what is an ideal way or one of the ways to talk about or how to answer, tell me about yourself. Then there are questions like, why do you want to join our company? There are questions like, what are you specifically looking at when you join in this role or this job? So there are questions like, why should we hire you even? So there are questions like, what is your greatest strength and weakness? There are questions like, describe your ideal company, location, and job. Now, this is a very, very trick question. You'll say, hey, why are they asking? I'm applying for this job, so this might be. No, this is a trick question. I'm going to spend some time in trying to tell you what is the good answer for this and so on. All right. So one of the questions, they all understand that you're freshers. One of the things they're going to ask you is that, hey, in college or while you were at college, what did you learn there, which you can bring to our company, and that learning will be useful in the workplace. One of the things they're going to ask you, because most companies or most roles are team-oriented roles. That means you're going to be part of a larger team. They're going to ask you, or they're going to get some insights from you saying that, hey, tell me about your teaming skills. Tell me about the relationship you had at colleges and so on and so forth. All right. So they're going to ask you some questions about what are some of the most challenging situations you faced and so on and so forth. And the reason they ask you about this is they want to understand what you think is a challenge and what are some of the things which you did to overcome it. And don't worry, we'll go and answer a few of these questions in detail, and we'll tell you what is the one of the ways or an ideal way to answer this. So just hold on and we'll pick up a few questions from this and we'll answer them. So one of the things they're going to ask, and a lot of people I know in the last 1.5 to 2 years have been asked, because it's predominantly a remote workplace now, even the big companies, at that point of time, they were asking, all right, you can join remote now, but are you willing to relocate? So we're going to give you some answers, which are some of the expected answers from HR. So one of the questions they're going to ask you is, what happens if you reject you? What will you do? And of course, one of the questions you should all expect is, what questions do you have for us? Or do you have any questions for me? All right. So why did I put out of these 12 questions, why do you think I put the first and the last question in red? What do you think is the reason? Yeah, you can put it on chat. Why do you think are these two questions in red? The first and the last. Tell me about yourself and what questions do you have for? Yeah, so yeah, they're very, very common questions, and so is that thing. What do you think is the reason? So there are about 300 people. Very nice, Afsha. These are very, very important questions, and this is where a typical interview is wonderful. First impression, they're mandatorily asked or most often asked. And this is almost like, you know, in a movie, you start with an opening scene and you end with a finale. So tell me yourself sets the context, sets the pace of the interview, makes the interviewer feel, what a wonderful person I'm interviewing. And when after about 15, 20, 30, sometimes the interview go 45 minutes, in the last, they want to see that, they want to remember you for something, and they want to know how proactive, how communicative, and how inquisitive, how curious you are to take this role, and what kind of questions do you have for them? Now that you know broadly, these are some of the common questions. As I said, these are not the exhaustive list by any ways.